if you are a millennial who just wants to live her best life out there, then living in a condo is just the best choice versus, you know, being nagged all the time by your family members at home. It's a clear choice, right? What's up guys, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel where I empower you to take on adulting like a boss. In this video, I'm answering the 10 most searched questions about condo living in the Philippines. I've gotten used to condo living for about 3 years now, and I can say that independence comes with great responsibility. So now let's dive into those questions so you can decide for yourself if condo living is right for you. Question number 1 is how to adjust to condo living. First thing that came to mind when I saw this question is that I actually had to adjust first to proving to my parents that I was responsible enough to be living on my own in a condo. So, short backstory, I wasn't really this responsible or as organized as I am now. I used to be like that lazy kid that my mom would be so annoyed at when I didn't fix my things right away. Like, she would throw things at me, nagging and screaming at me because I just couldn't keep my life together. And if I had that kind of personality then, if I was a parent, I wouldn't allow my kid to be living on her own because I know she's just gonna mess up her life, knowing that she couldn't even fix up her bed first thing in the morning, or she couldn't even wash dishes without her being told. You know, being a Filipino and having strict parents, you kind of also have to prove to them that you can do it on your own, that they're not gonna worry about you. So before I could actually say that I was ready to be on my own, I had to also face the fact that I needed to get my life together and be more responsible in the small things. So for me, adjusting to condo living also meant adjusting to a more responsible version of myself. Another thing is that I needed to detach from material things and detach from my comfort zone. As I mentioned in my previous video, is that I really needed to reduce my stuff by around 70% if I wanted to live on my own, because I couldn't bring every single memorabilia and every single clothing item that I had. And also having clutter everywhere of so many things that you don't actually use on the daily is so stressful. So adjusting to condo living also means that you have to detach and declutter all these unnecessary things that you really don't need at the end of the day. And also detaching from your comfort zone, meaning you're gonna have to detach yourself from the comfort of waking up and there's food on the table, waking up and everything's all clean. You basically need to detach yourself from things that you've been used to so that you can open new doors for opportunities just like condo living. Question number 2 is how does condo living work? So here's an easy way to go about it, which I used to also say, is that condo living is like having the convenience of being in a hotel, but you do all the chores. Because the great thing is, like, you know, in a hotel, there's security, there's housekeeping, there's maintenance, you can easily access them. But the difference is all the maintenance, repairs, the housekeeping, the cleaning now has incurred cost. You have to make the choice to get things cleaned up. It's not like when you wake up in a hotel and then you go back, everything's all clean and organized. But you do have the convenience like you're in a hotel, because you can easily walk to the nearest establishment, go to the mall, just a few steps away. The great thing about being in a condo is that you really pay for the convenience even if you are in a small space. But you do have to know that you do pay for association dues every single month for all these operational expenses that happen in the building, because just like in a hotel that doesn't just operate on its own, it's to make sure that everything in the building is in order, and that's where your association dues go to. Question number 3 is how much does it cost to live in a condo? Well, lucky for you, I actually created a free printable guide that breaks down all the monthly and quarterly expenses that you can expect living in a condo. I will link it in the description box below. It's completely free for you to download so that you can be prepared in saving up and managing your money. It's basically seeing all those expenses right in front of you so that you will be more than ready and prepared to take on condo living like a boss. Question number 4 is condo living worth it? So if you've downloaded that free printable guide, which you should have, you will see that there's a lot that goes into it beyond the monthly amortization, beyond the monthly rent. And so the question is it all worth it? You could just be at home, right? Stay at your parents' house and all of that is for free. But I say the price that you pay for freedom is definitely worth it. And beyond that, like the growth, the maturity, the strength that you build is just much more fulfilling than that. And sometimes you just really need to be in the real world so that you can experience it yourself and realize it yourself versus being told what to do. Because if you focus on all the things that you're gonna spend if you live on your own or if you live in a condo, you will most likely back out. But then if you want to value independence, joy, being on your own, then I say it's definitely worth it. Question number 5, is it better to live in a condo versus a house? If you are a millennial who just wants to live her best life out there, then living in a condo is just the best choice versus, you know, being nagged all the time by your family members at home. It's a clear choice, right? My only experience living in a house is obviously where I grew up, when I was a kid, being with my parents, and now living in a condo by myself. Those are my experiences. And now that I'm living in a condo, I'm really considering like either having a bigger condo space with more bedrooms when I do have a family in the future. I thought that one of your dreams should be that you aspire to have a big house, but if there's anything that I learned or realized from being in a condo is that you don't really need that much space in order to live your best life. That's why I really advocate for intentional living. It's about having intention for every single corner of your place. It's not just, oh, I need a big space because that's what society tells me to do. That's what society perceives what a successful person should have. By the way, I did also make a video about the pros and cons of condo living if you'd like to dive deeper into that. Question number 6 is how to decorate a small living room. So I am in my living room right now, which is the common backdrop in my videos. So I actually revamped this whole space. I bought this couch, I bought this shelf to serve as a divider between my kitchen and my living room. I just want to relax in the living room, and in the kitchen, that's where I cook, that's where I eat. You know what the secret is? It's just you go on Pinterest and there's so many hacks there for apartments and condos, especially for small spaces, and that's where I got the inspiration from. So Pinterest for inspiration, and then you go to SM or Landmark department store because you can actually find really nice aesthetic stuff over there that could really bring your Pinterest inspiration to life. And I do also have a free printable guide on like tiny living hacks on how you can organize your condo from your living space to your bathroom to your kitchen to your bedroom, and I feel like that will help you in kickstarting your decorating journey. Question number 7 is it safe to live in a condo? So the great thing about being in a condo, as I mentioned, it's like living in a hotel where there is security 24/7. There's security cameras everywhere. Like you will feel safe knowing that the moment that you step in the lobby, like no one will be following you or no one stalking you or anything like that. And I feel like that's one of the, for me, the biggest perks of living in a condo is that having that security in place. Like just a secret, just between you and me, right? There would be times that I would forget to close my door in my unit, and a security guard would actually like doorbell and tell me to close it and remind me. So that's how they have security guards doing rounds in every floor and things like that. But I still don't want to be super complacent. I still want to make sure that I am cautious and mindful of my surroundings because you still have neighbors, so you want to be extra careful still, because I've had nightmares before that like there would be strangers coming inside my unit. Maybe it's the fact that I probably watch too much crime shows, so that's a problem. So the next 2 questions that I wanted to lump together is how to survive condo living and how to enjoy condo living. Lucky for you again, I realized that I created 2 dedicated videos just for those 2 topics, which I will link over here. And the great thing is I have practical advice there that you can immediately apply in your life because those also come from my own experiences. It's all about enjoying your own company and also being grateful for having that freedom and independence that you now have. And question number 10, which is kind of funny when I saw it, is that how to deal with noisy neighbors in a condo. So funny because I have so many stories about this one. Recently, there is like a baby going outside the unit with his dad or something, and they would like play in the hallway, and I would hear them all the time like laughing or crying. And again, if you watch too much horror movies, like you feel like, is that an actual baby or is that a ghost or something? But you know, I've confirmed that it's a real baby. It's okay, you don't need to be worried about me. Or another story is that, so my neighbor upstairs, I think at like 7 a.m. or something on a Saturday, like marbles fell on the ground. So I heard all the marbles on the ground fell. So I heard it on top of me, and I swear I jolted from my sleep. You know, like when you wake up in the morning, you feel like there's an earthquake or something. That's how I felt like. Or I hear couples fighting outside, which is none of my business, so I don't want to get involved in that. Or before, the neighbor upstairs, its aircon was leaking and it was falling on my own aircon, and because of that, it was making annoying sounds at night and I couldn't sleep properly. Like, that was really annoying. What is my answer how to deal with these things? Well, if it's borderline annoying already, I usually like call admin or call the security guard to bring it to their attention. Like, especially the one with the aircon. Apparently the aircon of my neighbor upstairs, it was in need of a repair. That's why it kept leaking and making sounds and falling down on my aircon. And before, when I heard couples fighting outside, I had to call the security guard and make sure that she was doing fine, because it seemed like a very intense conversation. But I was able to cope up with it because most of the time condo walls are soundproof anyway. Now, I know you think that condo living can be so overwhelming. That's why I created those free printable guides for you guys, so you can feel empowered to make your own decisions. Also, if you've decided that condo living is definitely for you, I have a playlist where you can go over all my condo living tips and hacks and experiences, and I will be expecting to see you there.